INTZ, though, don't have many of those 2-0s. And if they want to change this up, they need to be able to pick up the second game, which has been a consistent specter in their rearview mirror.
Well, it has been the troublesome part for them, but for now we are in the pick ban, and right off the bat, Richter and Florentino, kind of standard pick and ban phase.
I feel like Florentino has occupied that first ban spot on red side all weekend.
He's really good.
He's really good. I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but Florentino is
my
great.
Ranked queue.
But you know who else is good? Varus, as she makes her way through the ban phase. Nova Esports actually opting to go for that Sephira ban, which I believe is something Envision that you have been pushing teams to do more of because of her versatility and impact on the map.
Yeah, the flexing of Sephira is so strong to have. You can first pick her, and still your opponents would not know what is happening on the game currently. That's because Sephira can go into the middle, she can go into the jungle as well. Or never mind, not jungle, sorry, support role.
It's okay.
I would have liked to see support Sephira, or jungle Sephira.
Jungle Sephira would be...
Don't make it happen.
I like the ideas you're giving out.
For the love of God, for my ranked games, don't make it happen.
Liliana and Annette get locked in for Nova Esports, as now the mid lane and support have been decided. Of course, Annette being the most powerful support right now. But
it's possible.
We did see Dao Chen as a clear pick against the Annette, but now it's the Lindis is locked in for the jungle, and INTZ still has 40 seconds remaining before they decide to choose their second pick.
So INTZ actually have a really good composition should they want to run it again, because the advantage of the Dao Chan is in setting up these sustained team fights. You have a really long freeze, a really long stun, and Mixer J has the Lindis, has the Varus, both of whom benefit from those engages. However, the odds that Nova Esports ban out Dao Chan are pretty low, so I would advocate that INTZ let that support pick drop into later during this draft phase.
I honestly think that they pick themselves up a mid laner here instead, because they don't have to, or that way they can, or that way they don't force Nova Esports to go for something in the ban. They do just that. They listen. I get a point. Do I get a star?
No.
No? Darn. Kali picked up for INTZ.
Stars are collected at the end of the region.
Oh, okay.
Kali will come through, and that's going to give them a lot of ranged poke into the enemy team. But that's going to be a little bit worrying because they have so much time left to adapt to that in the Nova Esports draft. If they get a melee jungle into the backlines of INTZ, there could be problems.
So something that I want to go ahead and highlight at the very beginning of this with INTZ versus Nova as a difference with this new draft system than that we've had anything else this weekend thus far, we are having high impact heroes being picked in the first phase. Generally, we see those safer picks, the supports, the side laners, the tanks, the ones that can create that consistent foundation for a good composition in the first half. However, INTZ and Nova have decided, no, we want the high impacts first, we want them now.
Yeah, the thing is that you definitely have to consider the fact that if you don't get those characters, they will have a chance of going into the ban pool again in the second ban phase. So you need to pick and kind of choose your battles here, because you can get a couple of OP characters, but still have a couple of kind of wild cards in that first phase. And then when you go into the second ban phase, you can ban out what your enemy is trying to do and, you know, take a little bit of the broken characters away.
Are we assuming that Nova thinks that this Lindis is going to the side lane? Necroth is banned away by Nova Esports. Superman, of course, being the first one there for INTZ. Questionable thought process by Nova.
Yeah, it seems to be that Nova is thinking that INTZ will run Lindis side lane.
This works so well for INTZ if they actually do end up running the Lindis into the jungle, because then that opens the doors up plenty for side lane options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see, nice, and I'd like to see them follow through with more than just damage from the side lane. I want to see them get a little bit more to get to the Violet in the backlines, have some mobility, maybe do something crazy like a Crashed. I'm a big Crashed fan because it's LATAM.
Xenial seems to be the final ban here in the second phase. Of course, we had Murad banned away. Now Nova Esports gets first pick on red side.
So we're missing most of what is going to be the side lanes for Nova. Or both of the side lanes, actually.
They need it. Nova needs dive. Otherwise, this Kali Lindis just shreds them.
They not only need dive,
like
but they need frontline, yeah.
Yeah,
Wonder
so
Woman
Wonder
fits
Woman
well.
Splits the difference between the two, has a decent amount of dive, and has the frontline potential with the bracelets. INTZ have their options open.
This does mean, it's a side lane Wonder Woman as well with the Violet. Violet could go in the side lane, but it's more like the Wonder Woman's gonna fit that. But now we've got a Weiro hover.
No.
Oh, don't do it to us.
The Max Malik would be a smarter pick, I'll be honest.
Ooh, we completely forgot about the Teeny as well.
So the Malik is a good pick here because it denies Nova that Malik. It can be so devastating having Malik as well as Wonder Woman on the same team because they're looking for the side lane as well.
Okay, I was wondering if we were going to see a dive jungle out from Nova. It seems unlikely because No Mercy plays a really good Violet. So you're probably going to see this be a final side lane draft for Nova as well. This means they can start thinking about what they're playing into. INTZ, though, with this Ryoma, leave that up in the air, because Ryoma can be played in jungle, and indeed it very well might be, given that Echo has a predilection towards melee in the jungle.
Mina is picked up as well for INTZ, which means that if Nova decides to go for a second level of engage, there is that opportunity to defend the backline of the Lindis and the Kali.
So there should be Omen or Malik coming through from Nova. I'd like Omen a little bit more because of the lockdown potential coming through.
And it has the potential to duel with the Varus in the Slayer lane. We have seen this in the past, but now, ooh, they decide to instead go for a second form of dive. In the Max, it's locked in.
They can't do any of that because they need to have the option to punish this side lane Lindis, because they're pretty sure that's what's going to come out, and it looks like both of us were right. So if they'd run Omen into it, they wouldn't have had anything that could have dealt with the fast farming Lindis. This is going to be a very aggressive invade tool from INTZ. I really like their comp.
I think INTZ is kind of a weird run for me. I would have run Lindis side lane. I don't think Lindis works that well in a side lane. Of course, she's strong and she can farm up pretty quick. But at the same time, Lindis's kind of power comes from the fact that she can just kind of trot through the jungle because of the passive trend softly.
It does look like she's going to be going up against, I believe, the Wonder Woman in the bottom side of the map, so that does at least create a favorable ranged versus melee matchup for her in the bot lane, and could create an opportunity to keep the Wonder Woman down and not allow her to get so tanky at first.
I'm a big fan of the side lane ADC meta.
I know you are.
I really like the Lindis. I've been biased all evening long. This Lindis in the side lane is, I guarantee it, going to be able to beat the Wonder Woman because of that trend softly passive. You were throwing out some questions. Oh, well, the mobility in the jungle will be lacking, but the mobility in the side lane, especially the dragon lane, through the bushes, is actually really powerful for the Lindis, because they could dip into those bushes and escape after overextending from almost any character in the game.
What it also gives an opportunity to do as well is to delay those first two item spikes of the Wonder Woman, which means that she's not going to have the tanky enough stats to contest those early dragons, which could be a great opportunity for INTZ to get out ahead. Nova Esports, they do very well when they are aggressive early. They have found success because of that early aggression. If you out-aggress the aggressor, Nova might not know what to do if they have to be forced to play passive and scale themselves up to the late game.
And I think INTZ have a really good early to mid-game comp.
Yeah, INTZ definitely do have a good composition, but at the same time, I think there's still some weak points in the fact that I don't see how they would work that well, because, I mean, Mina is a good kind of a Dark Dominion, provides with a lot of defense up against Lindis, or for that Lindis, but at the same time, we do have Max, who can dive past that, because liftoff cannot be cancelled by anything that they have.
The Max is going to be extremely crucial to get to the back line of INTZ. We find ourselves in match 2, game number 1 of the Latin American region, here in week number 5, between INTZ and Nova Esports.
Nova do head into the middle. Same goes for INTZ. Both of those teams can defend whatever they can and slowly head back into the respective lanes and the jungle.
Fusion already exploiting those bushes down in the bot lane. He has really quick wave clear. Sir Muster is going to lose this lane hard.
Well, Sir Muster just has to farm up the lane. He doesn't need to fight anybody currently. He just needs to farm up the minions, do the best that he can in providing himself with levels and gold.
Pressure will be coming through in mid. This is the Mixer J play that you were asking about. You said, how much can the Mina do? Who should they be targeting? I'd really like to see the Mina full committing onto Sir Muster when these team fights come around, because the Dark Dominion functions very well to stop Sir Muster from initiating. The Mina is a kind of defensive pick into this, but they only need to play defense because Fusion and, watch out for Padaria. Fusion and Horus will win out if they play smart.
INTZ do get the first blood as Varus does take out 0-8 on the top side of the map. So that's the Max, who can potentially dive past the front line, going down really early on.
Shaka in trouble. Echo with a full Spectral Eye will drop him low.
Yeah, Nova's going to be looking for this fight. Mixer J is going to be running away from this one. Sir Master's going to be coming in as well. The lasso, if it had connected, would have pulled back Mixer J, but he does get the safety. Importantly, though, 7 seconds till Abyssal.
7 seconds till Abyssal, and the vast majority of Nova Esports' forces are concentrated down towards it. It's a very good early game crunch. If you pick up the Abyssal Dragon, you're basically guaranteed not to hard lose early.
Rayoma heads into the middle, puts a little bit of poke down onto Nova members, but now the shoe is on the other foot. INTZ are really good in doing the Abyssal Dragon right now because they have the members there.
Mixer J, there's the side.
Yeah, there's gonna be 1-1 jumping in. The damage is there coming through from Nova. Somehow, INTZ, they're gonna be on the run from this fight. Shaka is incredibly low and a little bit too brave. In my opinion, Abyssal Dragon is gonna get taken out, and Shaka is gonna be the last hit on that one. Harris gonna be running away from this one, and Fusion putting down those auto attacks as Lindis.
Oh, Fusion recommits as well.
Oh, that's a very good bracelet of submission coming through, but Sir Muster went in way too deep. There's the lift off coming through. Max with the smooth moves. He's gonna finish him off. Haru is gonna be focused down as well, but the static shock is not too strong just yet. Doesn't burn him down.
That's not a positive trade because of how much farm just went onto Horus. They lost the Abyssal Dragon and then traded kill for kill afterwards, meaning that overall INTZ don't actually lose that much for the Abyssal going against them. And I think they wasted a lot of farm time over on the Nova Esports side searching for fights rather than playing smart and slow.
Well, they have to play smart and slow if they want to have a chance of taking this game.
Yeah, they have the mid-late game composition. They win that match. They just need to get there and play smart till there. Any moments they're taking early fights are just risk.
Mixer J is getting caught out here in the middle of the map as Estee is going to be able to get a kill, and that's how Liliana taking a kill for herself. That's going to help him out a bunch.
But it was the support that got down. Mixer J won't be too bothered by that because you can kill the support a couple times before they start to notice.
Well, the thing is still, if you kill a support, it's still cold in your pockets.
Yeah, it just doesn't hurt the other team's gold as much because the support doesn't need the gold, and in this case they have Windstone, so they get the extra gold to their name because the item's ration passive for having the least gold on the team.
Interesting choice there coming through from Wonder Woman. Did rotate down to the bottom side of the map, or she tried to initiate, had two people in front of her, but didn't use the ultimate, so he didn't have the lockup there on Sir Muster, and that could have resulted in 2 kills if Liliana was coming in as well.
I don't think Sir Muster felt entirely confident about the positioning of INTZ, wanted to make sure they weren't quickly getting ganged up on from behind.
Well, Nova though, they might be looking for Abyssal Dragon as they are grouped around that area.
Yep, Mixer J's just there as well, both supports kind of leading the way. Oh, but that was nice from Shaka.
Yeah, Shaka does go back onto the tower, and now finally Abyssal Dragon is going to be there. Oh, there's a lift up coming through onto a fusion, but 0-8 thinking the better of it, does not initiate the fight. Abyssal Dragon has been taken by Nova. Top lanes have rotated into middle.
Yeah, that bought a lot of grounds there, actually, for Nova. The second Abyssal over them, completely negating the early game complete. They've done a really good job of playing to INTZ's weaknesses.
Oh, there's a Bionic Blender coming through as well. Zero is taken down low. Harris gets the kill, and he's going to be on an ultimate streak. If there's any hope for INTZ, it's going to be that Kahli.
It's all about the Kali being able to step up because Harris got fed those early kills in the bottom lane, if you remember. He's currently sitting 3-0-0 with 2.8 gold to his name. He's going to be doing a lot of damage fast.
Well, we're going to see when that damage does come into play, but for now, Nova are going to be on the rotating force. They're going to be looking for the objective down at the bottom, which is going to be that tower.
Harris is also really good for this matchup because he plays very well on ranged damage dealers. His, oh, careful.
Sir Muster's gonna get caught out. He's gonna be a little too far forward. Dark Dominion does bring him in. Finally gets the ultimate off the bracelets of submission and the Hurricane Wall as well from Shaka coming through. And Net is gonna take a lot of poke damage from Lindis, but they're gonna be able to get away. Padaria is in the middle now, has to pop the Venom once again to get away from fight. He's used that ultimate more to get away from fights.
It's a really short cooldown though, so I think that's acceptable as long as he is getting out of the fights and clearing his wave and all that. I'd like to touch, though, that was a denied invade. Nova didn't get a whole bunch of ground for it. Harris, again, got farm. Again, we saw damage starting to come through from Fusion. Nova need to be careful for the next 5 minutes or so.
Well, if they manage to do so, then they're going to be in good standing to take this game away. But for now, INTZ is going to be on the controlling front of this game, even though the gold is in favor of Nova.
This is actually really cool. Max negates a lot of the lifesteal from Padaria.
Padaria, well, as you say, Jan, he's going to go down. You're right, gets a good kill.
I hadn't considered the matchup, but Max's passive static, that little Thunderbolt you see next to the name of somebody he's fighting, applied by the Bionic Blender, vastly reduces healing. So the lifesteal from Mixer J's or from Padaria's passive isn't letting him stay in the fight as long as he would hope.
Well, finally, Nova Esports, they get an objective off the map, the second one of the game for them in terms of towers, and it's a good one as well. That's a second tier 1 down, which means map control for them.
Yeah, I won't sugarcoat it. This is a really good lead for Nova. I kept talking about how INTZ had the better early game composition, but they negated that by getting so many early abyssals, meaning that they had a ton of gold despite being worse at farming and controlling lane. They got out ahead and were able to leverage almost a pre-mid game.
If there's any hope for now for INTZ, it's going to be that mid lane as Echo gets taken down. No mercy, has no mercy upon him, and he's going to be able to clutch up to kill their INTZ on the retreat now as Horus is going to be focused down just a little bit. INTZ on the retreat path. Mixer J is going to get initiated on. Sir Master is going to be there. There's the Dark Dominion coming through as well. Wonder Woman is going to get pulled on the tower. Oh, the lasso, it's going to connect, but the snipe was not there from No Mercy. Concussive rounds off target means he's not going to get the kill.
Padaria, in the meantime, will have the split push. That'll get them a tower, but you're right. This is bad for INTZ. If there is any hope, it is from Horus and mid, particularly the wave clear. It's not bad at all.
It is not bad indeed, as Padaria now is going to be looking for a fight in the top lane. 0-8 has gone way too far forward, and the rotations there from INTZ. They get the kill, and it's a really good step forward because they need to get those kills to get back into the game.
That's what I'm talking about in mid lane with the wave clear as well. Horus burning the Ethereal Pulse just to make sure there is no possible effort onto his tower.
Well, now INTZ, they're once again going to be in the defensive front. They take it a little slower for now. For the upcoming couple of minutes, they need to take it slow.
Nova are posturing for that Darkslayer up top. They want control of the top half of the map, because once they get Darkslayer, they're guaranteed the opportunity to take this mid tower. Once they have this mid tower, they're guaranteed map control.
And map control is what you want to have if you are on one of these competitive teams. But Nova for now are going to be looking for the top lane as Padaria is going to be running away with that Venom. There is going to be the Bloody Kiss passive coming into play once again. Oh, the jump in is going to be there. There's a bracelets of submission coming through. But Sir Muster, he did not want to go in. He wanted to get him back instead. And that's a little bit of a misplay coming through from Wonder Woman.
The way the lasso works, if you're above half HP, when the lasso lands on you, the Wonder Woman comes to you. If you're below half HP, the target goes to the Wonder Woman. He wanted to land the lasso onto Padaria, pulling him out from tower and guaranteeing the kill, but Mixer J body blocked it very cleverly, pulling the Wonder Woman deep behind tower and guaranteeing his death.
Incredibly good save indeed, as Padaria did get away from that one, and now Abyssal Dragon is finally enraged, which means the buff coming through into the hands of the team that takes it.
And this is why I think INTZ would have really loved to have a Darkslayer push before now, because at the 10-minute mark, there are 2 viable objectives on the map. So as long as INTZ remains somewhat in control of this game, if Nova decide to go up top, take the Darkslayer, there's an easy answer, there's an easy counter.
Well, Ace are going to be looking for the enraged Abyssal Dragon. 10,000 on the clock for that Abyssal Dragon. It does go down as Nova want to take this initiation. Max has gone on to the hands of Fusion. He has to fight this one. Mixer J is the next target that Max wants to take. 0-8 does a lot of good damage. Finally, Varus is going to be taken down in the midst of enemies of Nova Esports as INTZ is going to be on the retreat there.
Very well done by INTZ to push forward and challenge the objective, but they linger a little bit too long, and Fusion doesn't respect the damage 0-8 can offer.
Well, the liftoff is always going to be there if you want to dive the back line. Finally, Horus does go down. That's after 5-0 scoreline. Horus finally gets taken down.
No mercy, absolutely slaughters him. The burst coming through from this Violet is devastating.
So Mixer now going to be left to his own devices up top. Nova is going to get yet another objective here, as Dark Slayer is going to be in the cards for them as well.
Dark Slayer up for grabs. If Nova get this, they are guaranteed a lot of the game.
Once again, some bracelets of submission coming through. Mixer J is going to be taken down low. There he goes as Sir Mustard gets the kill. Echo is going to be the next to fall into the hands of Sir Mustard as well. Fusion gets lassoed up, and there's the lift off coming through. 0-8 joins the fight, but it's a little too late because Wonder Woman has done wonderful things, and that's 3 people down. Make that 4 as Pataria is soon going to fall here on the middle of the Nova Esports team. That's an open core to be taken, and there's 4 members hungry for the win. The snipe off for good measure, the ace as well as the core happening at the same time. What a spectacle of a play coming through from Nova Esports.